Welcome everyone. Today is April the 3rd, 2024, and I was not going to make this video today, but as the delivery truck came in with the few pieces of supplies that I ordered, it was snowing, and we're supposed to get a foot of snow. That's right, a foot of snow. I'm waiting for the sun to come out and green grass and getting my seeds outside, starting my gardens, but no, we're getting more snow. So I thought, well, the snow has stopped for a moment, so before the blizzard comes, I wanted to show you what I am going to be doing this year, or at least trying to do in my gardens, and hopefully it will help you in yours. And I have an audience, so that's always nice. There's lots of birds around here. So I only purchased a few things because everything's expensive. So I purchased 1 sheet of concrete reinforcement wire. Now I do have those little traditional tomato cages. Let me see. Okay, I can show you what I used last year, and this is what most people use and what most people know of when you think of, like, you know, tomato cages in your garden. So I will take you over here. These are some of my 5-gallon buckets that I did not empty because I needed them for weights to hold this plastic down. Unfortunately, I have hurricane winds, and the wind just pushes the plastic so hard it lifts these frozen buckets up and throws them. So anyways, I did have one of those tomato cages in my lemongrass. So this is traditionally what most people use. Hopefully you can, you know what I'm talking about. So this is what, most people use and what I've always used. But the problem is that when you're growing tomatoes or even cucumbers, anything, those little cages are basically for baby plants. They don't do very well when you have tomatoes that are like 3 feet taller than the cage and they're all hanging over. I don't want to say a waste of money, but they're just not practical and useful when you have plants that grow higher than those cages. So, what is a good alternative? And I've seen several people use this concrete reinforcement wire to make their cages. So I bought 1 sheet. Now, it's probably cheap, but I live in Canada. Nothing's cheap. So here, this 1 sheet of 4 feet by 8 feet, and it's not even galvanized steel. It's just regular rusted wire. That's how it comes. It literally came relatively rusted. Oh, you can see that. But yes, it came fairly rusted. Not pretty, not beautiful. And I'm hoping it will last, even though it's rusty. But this 1 sheet was $17 and something cents. So $17.85. I have the receipt right here. $17.85 for 1 sheet of concrete reinforcement wire. Very expensive, but I live in Canada. So hopefully you'll be able to find a much better price on this thing. And I'm just going to show you what I did. So I don't really have any tools. I do have a few, but I didn't want to go all the way back in the woodshed to get pliers in case the snow started again. So I used my hands. And I will tell you that technically you don't need tools, but it's so much easier if you have tools, because it's a bit hard to roll. It comes in a flat sheet, and all I did was I took one end, this right here, and I rolled it around to the other end, right there, and I took the little pieces sticking out. So the sheets, what happens is, like, they will cut the sheets down like this. So you end up with these little prongs here and prongs there. So I took the little, I call them prongs, I don't know what they are. I took these, and what I did was I bent them with my hands. So if you don't have tools, you can do this with your hands. I bent it and I put it over top of the wire. And then here I put the next ones, I bent them and put it on the inside, and then I'm going to pull it around and then down. So this is an example of the almost finished product. See how I took that prong and I bent it down over the overlapping part of the wire? That is actually holding it so that it doesn't spring out and go flat again. Now I'm going to use my pliers later, and I'm going to take this and bend it to the left and try to curl it around so I get a really nice, sturdy and strong hold. And that's what I'm going to do for the whole thing. So I'm showing you the top part of what I did, and the bottom part I have not done. So let me come over here and show you. This is how it comes. So you can see it comes like this, these pointed metal wires sticking out. And that is what I'm using to push that inward so that it holds. So once you do that, if you wanted to, you could get some of these zip ties, and you could put some zip ties on there just for added, I don't know, security. I don't think it'll come undone once you do this, but it's possible. So you could use zip ties. Now, this is going to be for my tomato cages, but I'm also going to experiment, and I'm going to use this for cucumbers. I thought of doing trellises, and I might, but I'm fairly limited on how I can garden and the spaces I have and the materials I have. So I might use a trellis, but for now, I think this is going to be the simplest, easiest thing for me to do, and I can reuse it every year. You could take it apart, but I'm not going to do that because it's too much work. So you can take these and you can put them in your shed or your greenhouse, or I don't know, maybe you could just leave them out in your gardens for the next year. So it's kind of like a buy once and reuse every year. And like I said, this came rusted. I don't know if everyone else's comes rusted, because it's actually supposed to be just going into concrete or like cement. You just put it in your wet cement. So you're not supposed to see it, and it's not meant to be used for things other than going into concrete. So you may be able to get them in galvanized steel. I don't know. But this is what I have to work with. So I'm going to try cucumbers and some other things in here. And the nice thing about these sheets is that you can actually reach your hand in. You can pick your tomatoes, cucumbers, peppers, whatever it is you want. And you can also clean your plants. So you can actually reach all the way in, and you can pick like any dead leaves or anything. You can also reach in the bottom, and you can make sure that all your leaves are picked off so many inches from the ground so you have good airflow. And so that's another benefit. And then I'm going to take it a step further, and I think I'm going to attempt to try something as well. So once you have this made and you've used it throughout the summer, well, once the fall starts to come or you get your first frost date, out here I have an extremely short growing season, and I mean extremely short. So if I still have things on here like peppers or tomatoes or something, what I'm going to experiment with is to actually cover this in plastic so that I can hopefully extend my growing season a little bit and make it into like a not temporary, but like a basic little greenhouse. So that's just another thing I'm going to be experimenting with, and hopefully it works, and hopefully it gives you some ideas on what you could do to extend your growing season and also protect your plants. So I think it'll be fairly simple to just make a plastic cover to put over top of here, and that should hopefully create enough heat in there during the day that it stays warm during the night. So hopefully this video is helpful to you and you've learned something, and it motivates you to be creative and, try and find ways to work smarter, not harder. So anyways, I will see you in my next video, and don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the other videos that I will be putting out all through the year. And I wish everyone a very blessed day and the most amazing and beautiful gardens with an extreme abundance of crops. So I will see you on the next video.